Welcome to another episode of Daily Gym. How to manage a team or a growing startup or scale up effectively. I've seen it happen time and time again. A group of founders start a company. They have set a mission for themselves and they know how to get there. Every day they're working very hard and long hours, doing task after task in order to get closer to that goal. Because they're meeting new people, learning lessons, or because of changing market circumstances, they have to pivot and alter the tasks that they're doing on a daily basis. But at some point, they figure things out. The company is growing and they start hiring new people. In the beginning, it's easy. They simply give tasks to the people that they either used to do themselves before or that they've been wanting to do for a long time but could never make the time for themselves. But at some point, the team reaches a certain size and this approach doesn't really work anymore. It's time to establish a culture. Sure enough, you can create a very good culture where everybody knows how they should be working and what behavior is appreciated as well as what values they want to exhibit as a company. But view it as if you're driving a car. You're getting everybody into the car, in the passenger seat or in the seats behind you, and everybody knows how to behave, when to talk, when to be silent, what kind of jokes to make. But nobody really knows how to drive the car in the direction that it actually needs to go, except for the people at the top of the company, because they're the ones who are driving the car. But at some point, you want to move the people to other cars so that they can simply follow you and you're able to hire more and more people and allow the company to accelerate its growth. At this point, it's not only the culture part, it's also about setting the KPIs. And many people think when they hear the term KPIs, it's about setting the financial objectives. So what most founders or managers in a startup start to do is that they set the goal or the target for how many dollars they need to bring in or how many customers they need to bring in, either in order to survive or in order to show enough growth so that angel investors or venture capitalists are willing to do another round of financing for the company. There's nothing wrong with this approach, but it doesn't really make much sense for the people who are joining your company. Oftentimes as a startup, you don't have the capital to hire experienced people, so instead you're working with either fresh graduates or people that are inexperienced. What happens in this case is that if you don't give them the right directions, they might be wasting a lot of time, which in the end affects your bottom line or affects the overall culture of the company. So how do you set KPIs effectively as a startup, as a team, or as a scale-up? First of all, as a manager or as a founder in the company, you really need to understand your sales funnel. Why do I say that? Because within the company, there are certain positions, let's say the HR department or people doing administrative work or accounting, that don't really generate revenue by themselves, but that allow other people to do their work without distractions and are supporting them in order to reach the overall objectives of the company. By knowing what the sales funnel looks like, what processes are involved within the company, what are the conversion rates, you are able to know how each department ties into certain aspects or parts within your sales funnel or within the overall performance of the company. And from there, you can know what organizational objectives do we need to set in order not only to reach certain growth goals, in order to hire more people, but also behavioral goals or aspects that certain teams or targets that certain teams need to meet that will then trickle down within that sales funnel based on the work that that particular department or people are doing that can help the overall objective of the company. Once you understand that fully, you can set the organizational objectives, then trickle it down to the team objectives, and if you really want, you can even trickle it down to individual objectives or KPIs. But make no mistake, because some people are simply supporting other parts within the company, having individual KPIs for everybody doesn't always make sense. Once you've established the KPIs, it also comes down to how you behaviorally treat people. Of course, you need to sit down with people, but managing the KPIs is quite easy because the objectives are clear and you can simply measure against those objectives. What's more important is that you build a human relationship with these people. Because if you're setting the KPIs effectively as a startup, you don't need to spend so much time talking with them or managing them on a professional level. You just need to make sure the environment is set up in such a way that everybody can do the work to their utmost ability and help themselves develop themselves. But you still need to make sure the human relationship is there so that people actually want to come and work there and to make sure that there's nothing in their way to stop them from performing at their highest level. That's all I have to say for today. Let me know what your experience in a startup or a team is like, and if you've seen anything missing from the things that I've talked about today. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And in case you're liking these kinds of videos, be sure to subscribe or follow my channel on YouTube or on any of the podcast platforms that you like to listen to. I would greatly appreciate that. I will be back with another video on Monday, so I wish you all a nice weekend.